Hi, Lee here, back again with another video. Just to try and dissect the entire transfer window for Sunderland, really. But before I get into all that, if you stuck around for the end of my last video, you saw I asked a little bit of a daft question at the end. Which Sunderland player do you think will put up the fence the quickest? And I got a lot of feedback off it. Robin Roos, because he's massive. Alan Brown, Simon Moore, Luke O'Nien, for obvious reasons. But my personal opinion, if you like to give my answer, I think the best person to build a fence would be Noah Siddiqui, because he's everywhere. And before you know it, you'll build one side of the fence and you'll blink and the other side's built, because he just covers everything and he's quick and he runs all out. That's my pick for that. Stick around at the end of the video for the next installment of Lee's daft questions. What a transfer window, really. Spent over £187 million to try and keep us in the Premier League. Signed some very good players. Some young players, some experienced players. Some who are young and experienced in the same time. Few ups and downs, obviously a few players leaving that Sunderland hold close to, which we'll get on to. And obviously we had the whole Mark Hughes situation where he signs on loan, expecting to be for the season, and he comes back deadline day to Chelsea because Liam Delap gets injured. Even though Chelsea have like 959 players on the books, they need him back. But Sunderland reacted quickly to that. On deadline day, we completed the double deal from Ajax for Brian Broby for €20 million to rise to 25. And we signed Bertrand Traore for £2.5 million, right winger, who will fill the void of Patrick Roberts. And we also completed the loan deal of Richarl Girituda. Sorry, it's the Macam accent. That doesn't suit the Macam accent name, that one. We'll have to find a better name from that. On loan from Leipzig, with a potential of a €20 million deal to get completed in the summer, if everything goes to plan. But just to give a rundown of, I'll go through the outs first. We'll go on to the ins. Obviously, it seems like a lifetime ago, Joe Bellingham went to Borussia Dortmund for €30 million. Tommy Watson went to Brighton for €10 million. Pierre Ekwa went to St Etienne on a permanent deal for €6 million, but apparently he's just gone missing. He just want to go back there. Neto Triantis went to the MLS for £2.5 million. You saw fringe players like your Hemias, your Aushishas, your Bishops, all go out free or on loan. Nazri Rusin went out on loan to a Polish team yesterday. There is still doubts about Abdullah, if he's going to go out on loan. Milan Alexic, if he's going to go out on loan to. Windows are still open. Countries that are transfer window still open. And you had players who need to find the fitness and need to find a little bit of form, like regular game time, the likes of Jensen Sealed and Niall Huggins. Sealed started off okay in the Premier League, but I don't think he's the answer. And I think a good loan move at Wolfsburg, it's a very good loan from him. If you can play regularly, he might come back a better player, you never know. The same with Huggins, as a player there, he just needs regular game time. Don't know if League One's the answer, but obviously he's gone to work with Mike Dodds, so that's probably the reason why he's gone. And Watch will do all that, and Mike Dodds will get sacked at the end of September. And two players who featured prominently last year for Sunderland, Alan Brown went on loan to Middlesbrough. Good move for him. He's just moved up to the area. He just bought a house. He doesn't have to relocate. Very good move for him. The offline at the minute. And the one that's made a lot of people sad is the loan exit of Patrick Roberts to Birmingham. It is not very nice to see a player that people care about leave, but I think that's just the progression that we've made and the leap we want to take in the Premier League. Patrick will always be indebted to Sunderland for his goal against Sheffield Wednesday. At the end of the day, we aren't in the Premier League without the contributions of Patrick Roberts. He came with a very high pedigree, just the young boy who wanted to find his way in football. And he made it home at Sunderland. He did. He spent 4 seasons at Sunderland. Obviously got us out of League One. That Sheffield Wednesday goal will arguably be one of the most important goals in the entire history. Probably is only equalled or bettered by Tommy Watson's at Wembley. And obviously goal contributions in the Championship. He's piss taken with Ahmad, where he just turned up as like 2 year 11 boys trying to year 11 lads playing against year 7s. You'd have all that to remember and by. And I made in the group chat, I made a comparisons like under Reedy, when we were like 2 7th place finishes, we didn't replenish the squad enough to keep going. We kept relying on the likes of your Tommy Sorens and your Michael Grays, your Jody Craddock, your Gavin McCann, your Niall Quinns and even your Kevin Phillipses, really, which I'm not trying to have anything on them, but if we progressed in the manner that we are now, with back then, we probably wouldn't have gotten relegated in 2002, 2003 and spent the next 4 or 5 years as an embarrassment, really, like having no money to spend, two record low points totals, but it's ifs and buts, isn't it? As you progress, you have to move people on that you care about, and that's only what's happened with Patrick. I'm more sure he'll light it up at Birmingham. Couldn't have gone elsewhere. Not be a big fan of Birmingham, but that's by the by. And hopefully he goes and smashes it and finds a home again, whether it's there or somewhere else. We'll never know, but you leave with the best wishes of everybody associated with Sunderland Football Club. And if I can speak on behalf of everybody, thank you to Patrick Roberts, because we wouldn't be where we are without you. Onto the ins. Started off pretty early, to be honest. Enzo Lafay signed for €20 million, followed swiftly by Habib Diarra. And then in no particular order, you had players like Noah Siddiqui arrived for 17 million, Ronaldo on a free. Then the one that set everyone's tongues wagging was Granit Xhaka. Then Robin Roos arrived. After a goalkeeper, Robin Roos arrived. Omar Alderete signed. Obviously, he started off really, really well. Simon Adingra signed from Brighton. It was very, very... He followed Chems and Talby through the door, both £20 million deals for wingers. Then we've signed Nordi Mugielian for £10 million. Arthur Masuaku. Obviously, Mark Yu arrived and left. Then obviously the three has happened the other day and deadline day. So we've signed 15 players, technically 14 at the football club, and we've really improved the quality of the first team. It's I felt like we've just gone up a level of what we were going to go for. I didn't expect us to go for the type of players that we have. I thought we'd try and be a bit more caring to the players who got us promoted, but the football club's obviously seen how important it is to stay in the Premier League, and they've literally just gone bang, 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 there you go. Obviously 187 million spent, but no, I don't think anyone associated with Sunderland Football Club expect us to spend 187 million. And can you argue it's one of the best transfer windows ever for Sunderland? I would say so, because it gives us a very, very good opportunity to stay in the Premier League. The quality players we've brought in, as I've said, I'll get on to who my standouts are in a bit. But yeah, you can't fault the ownership. And if it does go the way where a lot of people think it's going to go, and that's end up batting the Championship, you can't argue the fact that the ownership group didn't give it a go. In my opinion, the most important signing this summer was Florent Gasolfi, because as you can tell by the list, he's used the European market fantastically. Like, if you look at it, which deadline day, Will Osula from Newcastle, who's going to go to Frankfurt for 30 million quid. And we've gone for Broby, who's scored more goals in his career, has got a higher pedigree, for less than that. And you've got others as well that have gone for lots of money. Look, for example, Aaron Ramsdale, that deal at Newcastle could be worth up to £29 million for Newcastle if they buy him permanently. And we've getting Robin Roos for 9. Not saying he's going to be a better goalkeeper than Aaron Ramsdale, but the early signs that he is. He's obviously already been called up for Holland. So it's 9 million quid. It's absolute steal for a goalkeeper. And you look at the others, like, you see the prices that people are getting quoted for players that are from the Premier League and English players and everything like that. It's no wonder why he's shopped abroad. But it looks like they've come in, bedded into the football club, getting what it's about and just cracking on. And obviously 6 points out of 9, you can't argue with that. My 3 standouts, they've all for different reasons. The obvious one is Granit Xhaka. It seemed like to me that it was the first one that set like the main media's tongue wagging, like Sunderland, the team that's just getting promoted from the Championship, buying Granit Xhaka, who not too long ago was captain in the Leverkusen team. I went unbeaten in the entire Bundesliga and won it under Xabi Alonso, then nearly complete the treble. Then obviously that coming in has brought the likes of Nordi Mukiele in, Gary Tudor in, the people like that, like the high quality players. And you always like, first look at the video from Mukiele. Look at the video, Granit Xhaka's there and saying you took the times. Obviously you've been spoken to, and it's not going to affect as well. Mukiele is convinced Gary Tudor and Brian Bobby to come to Sunderland. So I think that's the one that really people thought, bloody hell, Sunderland are giving it a go here. My second one is Brian Broby. If you look at it in the past of what Sunderland have been like when it comes to strikers, we've been an embarrassment trying to get them in. And people were right in their minds to worry when Mark Hughes stories came out he was going to get recalled to Chelsea. And a little bit was like, oh, we'll have to get a striker in. And people were doubting that we would get it in. The news broke that Hughie was going back to Chelsea, and within half an hour, the news got broke that we was looking at Brian Broby. And before 8 o'clock on deadline day, we'd agreed a deal for Brian Broby. The quickness of the deal shows how far we've come off the scenes. Like, it shows we're not here to, like, the people who are running the club are not taking the piss. They're not your Ella Shorts, you're not your Margaret Burns, you're not your Martin Baines. They're actually people who actually know, like, who know what they're doing and going, who aren't messing about. And the third one for me is the record signing Habib Diarra. It was the first one I set up for Sunderland perspective. Wow, we're going to spend a little bit of money here. Because when he scored against England for Senegal, he was linked to the likes of Leeds. There was talk of him going to Chelsea because he's part of that Blue Core group. When the news broke we were getting him, people were like, bloody hell, that's a statement of intent of Sunderland to what the rest of the window is going to be like. Did we expect at that time to sign you players like your Grant Chatters, your Mukiris, your Gary Tudors? No, I didn't think we would. But he opened the eyes of Sunderland supporters to go, this is what we're going to do. There's straight away a record sign, bang. About 2 or 3 signings into the window. And obviously lit everybody's eyes up, and he started off pretty well. Habib Diarra, he obviously was carrying out against Burnley, didn't play particularly well there. But he was brilliant against West Ham, and he was very, very good against Brentford. Who do I think is going to be the best sign out of the group? And I know it's early days in the season, and any of these signs could turn out to be flops. Robin Roos saves a penalty this week. He could go and drop a howler against Crystal Palace, and that could send his season into a downfall. I don't think that'll happen, though. But what I've seen in the first 3 games, I think the best sign for us, for how he started, how he's played, and the price I paid for him is Omar Alderete. Like, we were chasing John Lukumi for the entire transfer window. Went and got this lad who was a left-footed centre-half. He's in the top leagues and top of the stats in La Liga, team of the season, and you can see why in his first 3 games. West Ham, when he came off the bench, the entire place just totally changed. The atmosphere around the place totally changed. His first touch as a Sunderland shirt, he Cruyff turns the ball and tacks out 2 West Ham players. And he was absolutely brilliant against Brentford. Burnley, I think he was carrying a knock as well. I think it was 3 or 4 of them were carrying a knock against Burnley. But the way he started, I think he's going to be an absolute steal for 10 million quid. An absolute steal. He looks an absolute colossus at the back. And obviously, I think that's who I think will be my best signing. A lot of people will go for others, but that's going to be mine. Overall, 10 out of 10 window. You can't argue with it. You can't argue with the transfer window. It's 10 out of 10. And you got to keep it with Sunderland's got to keep going. And hopefully we pick up more points now. So we're into the games where it's a lot harder than what we've come up against. Not saying any game's easy, but obviously the higher caliber teams. Look at Crystal Palace, very, very good side. Got a very, very good manager. Then you got Villa, who've just signed Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho. In a little bit of limbo at the minute, what they're going to be like. But again, they're a good side. Then you've got Nottingham Forest away. Obviously, they got beat off West Ham last week. So that's a little bit of what the game where you can we get points from there, but they're a good side. Then you're going into your top teams after that, your Man United, your Chelsea's, etc., etc. But we'll give ourselves the best chance of survival, and you can't argue with that. And if we do go down, so be it. We've gone down fighting. As I say, Lee staff questions. I have got one, so please, if you've stuck around for the video, or if you just skip it to get to this, that's fine. Question to you, the viewers. I'll give my answer in my next video. Who do you think out of the current Sunderland squad will be the best choice to be cast as a police detective in a TV series? Just a bit that fun. Thank you very much for all the likes and subscribes and the viewers on my previous videos. Just keep our please. I really do appreciate it. It's free. It doesn't cost you out. Enjoy the international break. I know I won't. I hate international football. And we'll see you next week with Crystal Palace videos and this, that, and the other. Enjoy your week. How are the lads?